So, welcome everyone. It is Wednesday, July 10th, and we're here for another virtual Wisdom Council call with Eleonora. And tonight, our topic is freedom. As ever, we'll be using the Chumpy stones. So, if you have your set, that would be wonderful. If you don't, there's always the cards that come with the book, Divine Embodiment. And you also can use whatever stones you might have around when it's time for the meditation. You'll have a couple minutes to gather those, so don't worry quite yet. Before we get started, I just want to call your attention to the calendar. As ever, there's so much happening at the Sacred Center. The weekend of August 3rd and 4th is the next seasonal chill class. So that's the summer class. If you have taken a class with Eleanor before, or if you've taken the online video intro class, you are more than welcome to join either online or in person in Warwick. And you can find that at sacredcenter.net/events. And then there are 2 slots left for the trip to Peru. And that is happening, I think, in late September. So if you have been dreaming of it, it's probably a great time to get in touch with Eleonora to see if one of those seats is for you. So I think without any further ado, we will get started. Over to you, Elle.
Hi, everyone. Um, Hi, Fran. What a treat! Oh my God, me and Fran were in Peru like 20 odd years ago. We go back. We had many, many jaunts. That is so great to see you and everyone here. I was telling Marisa that today I sort of like it just feels like it feels like the energy's in between, we're in between, like it's in a space, but it's not really directed. And so I felt like some of my Tibetan bowls were feeling left out. So I went into the closet and I took out a lot of the ones that I never use. I changed my position in the room. And I really don't have a lot of preparation here. So and it is about freedom. And as some of you know, and if you don't know, there's a water that we've collected over the years from various sacred places in Peru. And the water that we collected that sort of pairs with 10 or freedom is from the mountain Salcantay. So Salcantay is the wild feminine, right? It's the wild feminine mountain. Let me just read what it says here, because the wildness gives us the freedom to step into that which is not only about us, but that which is really plugged into a greater reality or a greater space or the infinite or God or whatever you want to call it. There's a mountain, Asangate, which is very austere, and paired with that is Salcantay. Salka means in Quechua wild, the wild feminine nonetheless. So here we go. So the wild feminine mountain of Apu Salcantay. It's also lined up to, it's on the ley line to Machu Picchu, and the jungle. Salcantay, wild feminine, Machu Picchu, jungle, is known for its untamed sense of movement and its frequent landslides. In fact, when we were there many, many years ago, there was a landslide right then and there. When you first meet this wild, undomesticated energy, it takes time to merge with it and call it into yourself. Old ways of being don't work in a space like this, just as approaching life in the same old way stops serving you as you grow and change. This essence helps you call more wild, free, expansive energy into your body, mind, and spirit. And like that's really what 10 is. The embodiment of 10 is, and I always like to talk about the numbers because it's one, our individual selves, but it's not one, the ego. It's one in relationship to 0 or the infinite, right? So when you put those together, it becomes something else. It becomes freedom of ego, freedom of fight or flight, freedom of everything scary, freedom of, it doesn't dismiss it, just the greater, it's being held where you can actually be free and scared at the same time, you know? So you're not run by survival instincts. You surrender to a greater reality. So 10 is a really big deal. 9 was awakening, the sphere, the infinite anchored here. And 10 is like, yeah, this is me in relationship to the whole. And so I was reading in some old, very, very blessed human beings from the past. And one of them said, true freedom has to be discovered within the human heart. So herein lies a little bit of the glitch, right? Not the glitch, but some of the teaching here is true freedom has to be discovered within the human heart. So our heart is very tender. You know, we have the physical heart, and then beneath that we have the emotional heart, where we feel sadness, grief, happiness, all of that. And then beneath that is, let's call it the mother heart, the mother of the Pachamama's heart, the heart of this earth that we're on. And then there's even a deeper heart, that's the golden light that, you know, feeds us, feeds us. And so in all of this work, I find that right now it's really about finding that doorway into a deeper relationship with the heart, not the emotional heart, not discounting it though, but a deeper level of like, every moment is a true blessing. And every moment is all we have, right? So I just wanted to keep feeding that into these calls, like trying to really embody, we called the new Chumpy, it's not so new anymore, it's a couple of years old, but divine, we kind of had like, what are we going to call this? It's divine embodiment. How can we embody that frequency so that we're not just functioning according to our birth, mother, father, our history, our ancestors, and all of that. Not discounting them, but we're growing a new roots, right? And we're individuating. We're becoming embodied in a greater frequency. And 10 is really all about that. So, yeah, we are free from limitations. The body becomes a plaything of the infinite mind, which I thought was another quote from somebody from hundreds of years ago. Free from death. When we're free from death, then life becomes a play of our immortal existence. Or another quote that I found was, we are the whole sea enjoying the myriad shock of its waves, which kind of like also has that feeling of, we're the whole thing, but within it, we have the trauma within it. Anybody have anything to add to that, or any questions or any observations, or Sue, is it clear? I can't hear. I'm not hearing.
Everybody's on mute. So if you want to talk, please unmute yourself.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Okay, I call that the art of unlearning.
Yes.
Because so much we have been taught, not only by people, our parents and all of that, just simply through life. And a lot of that is based on what was rather than what is. So how can we build what is and what will be on what is only that no longer serves, has lived its purpose, has gone through death, and is now going into new life? But if we don't unlearn that, how can we learn more? how can we remember what we already know?
That's a good way to put it. And the thing is, we're in the meditation, hopefully we can be here now and like not have to do anything, just listen to the heartbeat and just feel the senses and then see where it takes us deeper and deeper into the now. I mean, I think we're on the precipice of, as one of the interesting things I think right now that I've never felt before is that a lot of us have done our own individual work, own individual spiritual path, raising kids and et cetera, and being connected to some spiritual path. And now it seems like there's a collectivity that's happening where in numbers there's a surrender that happens without trying, because we're each holding each other up, and that's also a very new feeling, I think, where there's an instant surrender and allowing that happens, and then if we're by ourselves doing our work, we have always pondered about how we're going to do this, when are we going to get the money to do that, all of that stuff, how is that going to work, and that this surrender happens from a collective group of people that are just sort of moving together like a wave, right? So, anybody else have anything they want to add to this? Okay. And I think, like through the meditation, I'm just going to see, I think I like to give a little bit of sort of a framework. The first thing is, I am here now, right? And so it's almost like what Fran was saying, let go of the persona, right? Let go of the persona, not by trying, by listening to your breath, by being aware of your senses, right? And noticing, what you're worried about or whatever, but don't like give it any energy. Just notice. If you try to, one thing I know for sure is if you try to stop the mind, it'll come back even stronger. It's like, what? You said don't do that? It'll come back stronger and stronger. You have to just say, all right, that's my chatterbox. Okay, fine. And eventually it dissipates. Actually, even with affirmations, I started saying, rather than I am, it's I am becoming calm. I am becoming, because like the subconscious doesn't mind the word becoming. But if you say like I am calm, forget it. Your mind is going to say, are you kidding? No, you're not. It's going to fight you tooth and nail. So there's a way to work with the mind. So just let go of the persona, align with the infinite, the greater reality, and then listen to the heartbeat, because we want to try to, without trying, deepen ourselves into that heartbeat, into the depth of where the heart goes, into the heartbeat of the planet, of the Pachamama, and that, like we said in this call, is like the freedom within creates freedom for everyone outside of ourselves. So, and let's see where we go. Okay. Oh, and the form is the 5-pointed star. So the 5-pointed star is a fabulous form, because a little bit of like what makes this a little different is because we have the form. There's always a form. We're in a temple, in the old days when they wanted to be transformed or whatever, they went into a temple. There were temples everywhere, or they went into a cave, or they went into a sacred place that had a physicality to it. So we have the five-pointed star here. And then we have our intention, freedom, right? Thought. And then we have sound. You put the sound in there, and that's the equation for transformation, right? So the form is a five-pointed star. Now, the five-pointed star is kind of like a star is us, like a star, like it's been said, and I believe it, that we are made of stardust. Like what's out there is in here, right? So I thought that the star, anyway, I didn't think it said like do the star formation. Was it really a good form? Because we are like stardust, and we are the stars, and we are everything, and everything is us. So you put one here. I'm going to just show in the book. There's one stone. If you don't have chumpies, a stone will do, or a card. One above the head, two below the feet, and two like where the shoulders are. And then have something on your heart, because ultimately the heart is holding us. It's centering us. It's in, we're centered by the heart. Right. Any questions? No? Wow. It's like a quiet group. Okay, Sue's ready. Okay, so
Just 1 second. What did you, the phrase that you said was freedom within?
creates freedom for all.
Oh. So it's like when you have freedom from within, then you become surrounded by freedom by releasing it and allowing.
Let's see how it works after the meditation, okay, where we embody the energy of it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okie doke. I'm just going to turn this around. So you're going to just turn this off now, Marisa?
Turn what off?
What do we, so everybody's going to just lay down now,
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, before we start, I just have a quick question. Elle, you started to say that the first sound, I guess, would be "I'm here now." And what is like, just for a framework? Is there anything after that?
Yeah, just to pay attention to, like when you're here and you're listening to your heartbeat, just pay attention to the senses around you. Like the sounds around you. From I'm here now, that it'll have a different relationship. By being distracted, just keep with the center. So basically what you're trying to do is let go of the persona and go into a meditation where it's not about you, it's about the collective. It's about surrender. Okay. Okay, when you're ready, you can meet me back here. I forgot to show you the, this is, don't forget, the points on these chumpies are apus. They're the protectors. They're the great mountains, the mountains that are connected to the universe. So it just kind of makes it real. And then this one, this is one of the first ones I got when I was there. It's an old one, very worn. So I felt the mountains really strongly. Anyone have anything to share that maybe is like a feeling you got or something that everyone can relate to, that maybe goes beyond the personal?
I had initially the entire time it was really focused on the heart, and uh I went right into this very cavernous, that's the word that just kept coming into my mind, was cavernous, and just stillness. But I felt the whole back of my heart, back of my body, but really back of my heart open up. And it was very cavernous and still and calming and very neutral, very unemotional, but in a very calm way, not a mechanical way, in a soft, neutral type of space. Um, and I've been taking the Essence number 10 for about a month now. So this is like perfect. And it's very, very powerful, the Essence. And so after, just kind of sitting in that cavernous space, it almost felt like a cave, with the water dripping and the coolness on a 90-degree humid day. It just felt really like delicious. And then I just felt myself unfurl, is the word that came to my mind. And I just felt this unfurling, almost like a cat stretching out and taking up space. It was a very slow, and it just was very, I don't want to say luscious. It was really, really nice. It just felt like an unfurling and taking up space. Um, and it kind of got locked in place, like each of the different sounds, there was just a different feel to this piece. It was outside of me, but it was me, right? So I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense, but at the end, it was very, very soft, and there was this unfurled piece of myself that was just there, and it was okay. It was just like I felt bigger at the end of the meditation. Like I felt like my space that I took up energetically was just bigger.
Thank you.
Okay.
Unfurling, untangling, untwisting. Right. Anybody else?
It took me a little while to drop in for like I kept hearing sounds, and then I didn't, then and then I felt I didn't have much going on except that I felt like I dropped into like this big space in the universe. Like it was just this gigantic space. And then I was just in it. So I didn't have any thought going on. It was just that experience of that vastness.
Was
That's
it
all.
noisy?
No,
No.
mm-mm, no.
Well, Ella, I identified so much with this idea of the in-between energy. I feel like that is just, I don't know, it's so often the energy of July or the energy of mothers in summertime, and I know I go through it cyclically anyway, in terms of going and feeling so connected and like, oh my goodness, the work, it's like in me and I am it. And then it's like, wait, what? I think I'll just have a cup of coffee, and I lose track. And I think that happens to so many of us. But I'm away from home and I'm up on this third floor, and the wind picked up and the clouds are really low because I'm by the ocean. And it was as if they were touching the top of the pine trees here. And it was just to say, it was just a moment of saying, well, what if it could just be this simple, and sort of just dropping in for a moment, rather than, I think sometimes we have, I know I set myself these, oh, I need to have it set up perfectly. I need to enter in. It has to be some really profound, otherworldly experience. And instead it was this sense of like, I lay on the floor. I didn't get my act together to bring my chumpies with me. I lay on the floor with the dog and looked at the clouds and heard the sounds and trust that it's doing its work. Felt a lot more like freedom than some of the other convoluted ideas I may have about it when I'm feeling very spiritual.
I know, that's kind of why, stepping outside of what you do every day and in the same environment, the same house, and just being somewhere else. To me, that's all about. Just to relate, because your body's so like habitual. You hear a sound and you heard it 10 years ago, and it reminds you of what you heard 10 years ago, and you're like, wait a minute.
Mm.
I just want to hear that sound. And
Mm.
so, it's amazing that you're out there with the ocean. You and Gail brought the ocean to us, so that's very cool.
Yes. And The Sound of Music is playing downstairs, which has a whole other resonance to this whole thing. They're of Von Trapp children singing, and I don't have a door where I am. So it added a very funny element to everything.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. I can't explain it, but the sounds kind of are working through you and around you. I mean, I'm just hitting them, but they're like telling, I'm being guided by them. So more and more with, all these years I've been doing this, and it's kind of interesting now where it's like, oh, that bowl, do they sound together? Is that harmonious with that? And then the rattle and this, it's just more like they're like, yeah, this is the sound that's taking place to free up all of us so that we get out of, I like the cavernous thing. We just sink lower and untangle and just be new, you know? So, and then who knows what we'll do? I don't know. Take off our clothes and go dance on the beach. I don't know. Dana will do that. And her mom.
I know I brought my mom. I was like, this is 30,
Amazing, yeah.
35, 36 years of transformation right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just wanted to share, like, I mean, this is the first time I'm doing this with my mom. She's visiting me in Miami, and I'm like, late, and instead of going to happy hour, she's like, let's go to happy hour. I'm like, let's do this. But she, I really feel like it all belongs.
Mm.
The freedom that it all belongs.
Mm.
And I haven't, it's not like settled in me, but even I just really resonated with what other people were saying as well. It's like, I was really sensing into, I have this feeling of fight or flight. And I was like, well, that belongs. And I also have this feeling of freedom at the same time.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Like how you started off saying, like,
Yeah.
be scared and you can be free. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but
And
can you? Right. And then like the fight comes in. It's like, but actually, can I?
And
And
that, I mean, that's the deepest part of this. work if we are evolving into a non-dualistic persona, meaning that, we don't have to freaking, choose one side or the other. We have to hold the opposing places together and then just let it sink in and surrender, and then choose, rather than like, but if I do that, then I can't do that. It's we're very bipolar that way. So at the bottom of all of this is like, how do we become, how can we hold two opposing forces together and not freak out and flip out and like need to know the answer, otherwise we'll die, kind of thing. So that's as a collective. I'm very much emphasizing this whole collective theme because everybody that sort of gets attracted to the calls, I pretty much have been on a path for a while. They've been on a growth path for a while. And through together, what can we do? What happens when we all come together with one idea? What is that all about? So I think that's the potency of the calls, I think, and the work that we're doing together. And I just like honor each and every one of you for like taking the time out in this freaking heat to like sit here for an hour, really, 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 really thankful for that.
When you were, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
When you were speaking earlier about dancing naked, I remembered a time when you and I on Apua Singate in the Jaguar Lagoon.
Oh yeah.
Yes. If I might, Eleonora,
Okay.
speak of this. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Eleanor and I were at Apu Singate. We were at the feminine Jaguar Lagoon, and we were standing across from each other. We are both Jaguar. Very clear. We are Otarango. We've always known that. And we looked at each other, gave a Jaguar roar, clothes came off, and we jumped right into the Jaguar Lagoon, freezing cold water, roaring, roaring, roaring. The Kero are laughing and loving it. And we came out blue and shaken and feeling wonderful. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
How could you
15,000
forget that?
feet. Yeah, 15,000 feet. You can't even breathe up there, let alone get into the water. Yeah, she made me do it.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah, that's
I
the freedom. Yeah,
That's freedom.
that's
That's
freedom.
freedom.
Yeah,
When
and
you-
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying that what you said, what did we in this journey that we did now? I have no words in any language. What I feel, I emanate,
Mm-hmm.
and perhaps you can get it in that way.
Mm.
We are about a month. We just left Peru about a month ago, so we've been back about maybe 4 weeks. There's no words.
Okay.
We worked with Mamita and her daughter Vanessa. We worked with Don Rolando. We worked with the mountains. We were in the jungle. We worked in the jungle.
Well, thanks for showing up here and emanating.
Yeah. There has been a lot in the last year and a half of my life that has been very major. Up through even while I was in Peru and what I came back to.
Mhm.
Yet I am here. So be it. Yes, Ariyaho.
Okay. Anybody else? Uh-huh.
Hi, I had like a very interesting experience. At first, the sound started and I felt myself tensing up, and I recognized it as being fear of surrender. And then I like sort of my mind said, it's okay, like don't be afraid. And I just felt myself loosening up and just like, I don't know, I'm in a place now, I'm also not home, where it's common to go like travel high up on a rock and then to fly down in like wings. Like you lay down in these wings and these wings help you carry down till you jump down and land on Earth, quote. And I was just like saw myself in the skies with this beautiful view and feeling this freedom kind of feeling. And it was a beautiful scenery, I must say. It was something so beautiful. The blues and the clouds, it was something like magnificent, like not able to describe even in words. And then there was the sounding of like the rattle, maybe. So I felt like I was in that, like the kid in those balls, you know, and fighting to get out of those balls. And then I realized I don't have to fight. 1 minute, stay still and just feel free in that. And then I just dropped onto some kind of a foam mattress. And I just lay there and then realized that I was in a place that I didn't recognize, comfortable, and like also like a beautiful scenery, kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. And then as I was there, like the song, I like heard music and they said, oh, that's so nice. I love music. And then the song was playing in my brain, like wherever you go, whatever you do, like I'll be right there waiting for you. And I'm like, I love that song. And it just resonated so nice to me. Like the whole thing, I was like, wow, it's so nice to be free.
You might, the, not everyone can go to the mountain or the jungle. So I think the essences are coming up more and more because they do have that frequency of the origin of this planet. They're from the deep, deep, deep parts of sacred places. So if you look on the website, you can order them. I don't know that I'll make more of them actually, but they do help get out of your mind and get the energetic frequency into your cells, right? So that you don't have to think so much about things. I'm shocked that you remembered that whole story. That was like from the beginning to the end. Yeah. So, and Salcantay has many, many, many amazing glacier waters where the water comes from. And it still has the same frequency that it did when I, gathered it, or or Ruli, my guide, or Marco, whoever it was, said, "Go there. We need that water. There. Go get it." So, well, this has been amazing. Anybody else before we close? Feels so loving. We have Peru here, we have Puerto Rico up there, and we have Brazil down there. She's from Brazil. It's amazing. We have the South American, Caribbean energy here.
I feel like I should even go there, visit the rock and see the view and like incorporate it. And it's gonna give me that free space, I feel that I love.
Stand on that rock. Yes.
Yeah.
One more thing. Let me see. So Monday I am going to India, and I'm going to the south, which is very hot, I'm told, a little monsoony. But if you want to tap into where I'm going, that would be amazing, because I feel like it's not just my journey. I feel like I'm not carrying like a weight, carrying freely the groups, the people that are coming together with me there. And I might even post a few things. I don't know. We'll see. So till next time. And next time is 11 manifestation, which whenever that is.
We haven't set a date for that yet, but we're
No.
coming around probably
Yeah.
September, early September.
Yeah.
Be in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I so am grateful for everybody's energy that came together here. Thank you so much. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.